Happy New Year! My name is Mary Coughlin. I'm the president and founder of Caring Essentials Collaborative, and today is day 7 of the 12 days of articles in review. Today's article, really awesome paper looking at the effects of skin-to-skin care on oral microbiome of preterm infants. This article was published in the American Journal of Perinatology, and the authors are Hendricks-Munoz et al. The official title of the paper is Skin-to-Skin Care and the Development of the Preterm Infant Oral Microbiome. The authors begin their paper with a background about skin-to-skin care and the factors that impact the microbiome of the hospitalized infant, calling out that the latest information informs us that the environment influences the pace but not the sequence of microbial acquisition. For hospitalized infants, that microenvironment, the incubator, respiratory equipment, as well as exposure to healthcare professionals, separation from parents, all influences the microbiome. We also know that stress has been linked to gut microbial dysbiosis, and dysbiosis is basically an abnormal arrangement of the commensal organisms that live in the gut. And this phenomenon has actually been linked to later increased risks for allergies and celiac disease. As the gut and the respiratory tract are basic invaginations of the surface of the skin, it's easy to understand this association between the infant's microbiome and their overall health and wellness. And in the written annotation, I've actually given you a hyperlink to this other really cool paper that talks about the infant microbiome and implications for health and neurocognitive development. I hope you'd find that interesting. So the authors, they had a cohort of 42 infants. The samples were basically divided into a non-skin-to-skin exposure group and then the skin-to-skin exposure group over the first 3 weeks of life, okay? They took oral saliva samples at 1 month and or discharge, depending on, which came first, and then analyzed the results. They grouped the cohort and, of course, the samples by corrected gestational age. They did an amazingly elegant, detailed, and high-quality analysis of the samples to look at the genetic findings so that they could really better and more accurately identify the phylum and the organism itself. So the study infants, they demonstrated comparable clinical demographics, very similar SNAP-2 scores. Infants in the study who received skin-to-skin care had a greater mean growth velocity and a shorter mean length of hospital stay when compared to the non-skin-to-skin group, and the p-value was actually less than 0.0095 for that evaluation. 3 infants in the non-skin-to-skin care group were evaluated and treated for necrotizing enterocolitis after the sampling, and none of this was observed in the group that had the skin-to-skin care. This study demonstrated that for a group of primarily breastfed infants, that skin-to-skin care is in fact associated with microbial oral patterns that exhibited a reduced prevalence of known pathogens, specifically Pseudomonas and Neisseria organisms, and that skin-to-skin care also provided for the less mature infants was associated with acquisition of a more mature microbiome repertoire, which was usually observed in an older gestational age group of infants. The study it's really awesome, and it adds to the existing research and data that we have related to the development of the infant microbiome and provides substantial evidence recommending a more standardized and systematic approach to the provision of skin-to-skin care in the NICU and beyond, because infants can be hospitalized in other settings besides the newborn intensive care unit. We really need to look at this as a very bona fide medical intervention with a dose-dependent effect, and I kind of gave you my spiel about skin-to-skin yesterday when we talked about the 20-year follow-up data. So I hope you enjoy this review. Stay tuned for tomorrow's. Happy New Year to one and all, and take care and always care well.